Hey everybody, this is that drummer guy Josh Runquist, and I'm here with Dan from Anathema, who's going to be playing here tonight at Mill City Nights here with Alcest. How's it going?
Fine, thanks. What's your name, sir?
That drummer guy, Josh Runquist.
Josh, would you like to be called that drummer guy or Josh?
Whatever feels more comfortable to you.
I'm going to call you Josh.
Yeah, sounds great.
Hello, Josh.
Hello.
How are you?
I am doing fantastic.
Yeah, are you from Minnesota? I'm interviewing you now. Are you from Minnesota?
I'm actually just a few miles away in Wisconsin,
Wisconsin.
Right on the border of Wisconsin
Yeah.
and Minnesota.
Isn't that where Happy Days was set?
It was down in Milwaukee.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Oh, okay. That's nice.
Oh, absolutely.
My childhood memories are very much full of American TV shows.
Oh,
because it's so big over there.
Oh, absolutely.
And so touring America is a fantastic experience, and every place we go to reminds me of something. This place reminds me of a Tom Waits song so much that it's a very powerful feeling, because Tom Waits made a poem about a street corner 3 blocks from here called 9th and Hennepin. Mm-hmm. And it's always been one of our favourite pieces of music. It's really, really evocative and fantastic. And I told my brother that, you know, we're literally playing 3 blocks from 9th and Hennepin, and he was like, oh my god, he couldn't believe it. So we're going to go out there tonight, and we're listening to Tom Waits all day and taking in the atmosphere.
Oh, very cool. And that's such a great song, too. That's one of my favorite Tom
You know
Waits
that
songs.
one?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah, broken umbrellas like dead birds, and steam coming out of the grill like the whole goddamn town's ready to blow.
Oh, absolutely. So how's the tour been so far?
Great. I love touring America. It's fantastic. What can I say? It's just fantastic. Obviously, the big cities have been well attended. One of the great bonuses of the tour is the fact that all the concerts are well attended, and there's a lot of people, which I didn't really expect. I didn't know what to expect, to be honest, and I didn't think about it or anticipate how many would be here. But it's been good in that regard. But also just meeting people, getting a flavour of the cities, you know, getting out and about, and, you know, meeting American people, and I've enjoyed that very much, and just seeing the sights.
Oh, very cool.
So it's great.
And I'm glad to hear it's been so well attended, too, because once I first heard this tour was announced, I knew I immediately had to be here just to see you guys. I mean, this is my first time seeing you here. And then Alcest as well. I mean, that's such a great band to be touring with. How did that come about?
I don't know. It was to come about through the concert agent, I guess. We have an agent in London, works with the agency group, and also another one in New York. And I guess they put their heads together and did it. And it's a good package. I mean, Alcest are very melodic and nice, beautiful people, but the music is very melodic, and they seem to be quite popular, so it's worked out. But what I like about the tour as much as anything is the fact that everybody's really nice. You know, there are no real egos in crew or band in any level on the tour. All the members and musicians and crew members who are travelling are all super nice. And that's nice, because I have worked with, you know, difficult people in the past, and it's very nice for it to be going so smoothly.
Oh, absolutely. And it makes touring so much harder when you have people like that who have the ego or just bad attitudes. I mean, when everybody's good together, it just makes for a fantastic tour.
To be honest, I know exactly what you're talking about. It has driven me insane in the past, but thankfully I don't have to deal with it anymore. And, you know, we're just working with super nice people who are super good at their job. So that's obviously that's the main thing, right?
Oh, absolutely.
They have to be good at it, but yeah. So that's been fantastic. And, you know, I've been drinking lots of coffee and hanging around with the guys. We're playing with a new rhythm section for this particular tour, and they are a revelation because they're such good players. So they're bringing the songs to new life, and that's good.
Yeah, I was actually gonna bring that up as well with the new rhythm section and everything. So since the first date, has everything been going smoothly?
Yeah, well, we anticipated it would go very well, because Daniel's actually been playing piano for a couple of years with the band, because he's a multi-instrumentalist. But his main thing is drums. He's the drummer guy. And the thing is that our original drummer, his skill set is really in other areas. He's a fantastic songwriter, fantastic musical imagination. We go way back. And his role we're going to go back and write an album with him, because he's the person I like writing albums with. but we're going to shift his role a little bit towards electronic percussion, acoustic percussion, synth work, and mainly songwriting, and see how that goes, because the tough decision was to really make Daniel the drummer, because that's just makes everything stronger. When you have a foundation stone like that, it makes everything stronger. So we're going to go back to England and work with John and incorporate him into that, in a new way, and see if that works. But for this tour, we just wanted to play with Daniel for this one and get that bedded in and get that foundation laid. And then we'll go back and talk to John and get that together.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
So with that said, has there been any new material written?
Well, there's loads of new material. We went to Portugal in March, where Daniel's from, and did a session. And 3 songs were written there, and we already had about 15 or so songs already to present. And from that session, I would say a very, very good album was obvious, that it could be there. Add a couple of John songs to the mix and you've got something fantastic. So we're actually going to make the record in December. This December we're going to the studio that is owned by Krista, our producer, in Norway, Oslo, Norway. Going to go there. I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a Norwegian winter, a bit like a Canadian winter, pretty fucking cold. But I've lived there in the past and I've got all the warm clothes to wear. And I'm going to make a record with Krista in his place. All of it from start to finish. January will do the vocals, do the mixing, and it will come out in the spring. And Daniel will play drums on that, and John will write songs on that.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
So far, how would you compare the material that you're about to record compared to, say, Weather Systems?
Well, the first obvious instinct, the first obvious instance would be to say that because the drums are different, and Daniel is, for his style, one of the very best drummers in Europe. And the guy's good enough to play in Tool.
Very cool.
That's very different for us. So obviously that gives some songs a whole new lift and a new energy, a new feeling. So in that respect, that'll change. Also, we'll probably make the production a little simpler. We're not going to pile lots of layers of music onto each other and make it all fit. We're going to keep the layers less... sounding enormous and big, but not so many of them, so just less elements, fewer instruments, but sounding very, very big, very organic and warm. Songwriting, it will develop a little more on the electronic side at times. It'll still have the guitar songs and the piano songs and the beautiful melodies that we're known for, obviously new melodies that people haven't heard, and but there'll also be some surprises, like a couple of electronic things, and there's even like a jazzy kind of number as well, but still with that signature beautiful melody of Anathema. And so far the melodies and the chord progressions keep coming, and as long as that keeps happening, we'll be fine. We certainly have an A1 album on our hands. That's an A1 album by our standards, meaning that every song is as good as Dreaming Light or Universal or Untouchable, or stuff like that we consider to be our very best songwriting. We can do an entire album full of that level.
Oh, that's so cool.
That's what we're going to try and do in December.
It definitely sounds like it's going to be one of my favorite albums of 2014 already.
Yeah, well, if it's... I'm looking forward to the ending of the record, because the way the ending is looking is it's gonna take people a little by surprise. And I know how the beginning's going to be, so it's a case of what the middle's going to look like, and I had to get that middle slice in the pie. I need to get that sorted out. So, but there's lots of good tunes, and like I say, me, Vinny, and John are such a comfortable songwriting team. Together with Krista, it's a dream team, really. And when you have a rhythm section like these Portuguese guys, the foundation stone is amazing. What they play and how well they play it, so it lifts everything.
Oh, so very cool.
Yeah, we're lucky.
Oh, absolutely. So going back to this tour, how did you get the set list together this time around?
We took a vote. I named a list of songs and everybody voted if they thought it was truly fantastic, or if they just liked it. If they just thought It's okay. They didn't vote. They only voted for the songs that were truly fantastic, and I picked the songs that everybody voted for. I had 3 or 4 votes, and that was it. You know, it was as simple as that. It was like, you know, everybody knew we were going to play Untouchable Part 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. Everybody knew we were going to play Thin Air, Dreaming Light. Mm-hmm. You know, and then we just picked songs that also, you know, that have the right energy for the show, because it's quite an energetic show. We're not a very slow band, really. Mm-hmm. There are ballads, of course, but we're not just like that. It does rock out, and it has tempo and high energy. So songs like Gathering in the Clouds and Lightning Song were chosen for that reason. Also for the fact that Lee Douglas is singing on Lightning Song, so it brings her out into the spotlight a little more. And it was easy. It was kind of democratic. Well, I mean, I asked all their opinions, and then I made a set list based on that.
Right.
You know, obviously with my own final thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I did get a chance to look at the set list, and it just seems like it's so dynamic, and it's going to be like such a killer show. It's
mostly the last 2 albums as well, because we are absolutely convinced that is the best material we've written, and you know.
Yeah, I got to say it right now, like Untouchable Parts 1 and 2, like it grabs me every single time that I hear it on record, and I can't wait to hear it live tonight.
Well, the production is fantastic, because the guy Krista made such a great job of pulling those vocals out of Vinny and Lee. And obviously they're very heartfelt lyrics, so all the passion is there, and that's just a combination of the band on fire, kind of on fire, but the producer just really being at the sharp edge, saying this is, you know, pushing everything so that he got top performances from everybody, you know, and he made those decisions, and he pushed the drummer and he pushed everybody to the limit, you know. Except me, he didn't really push me. Maybe he felt he didn't need to, I don't know. But the guitars just went pretty quickly. But, yeah, fantastic working with him. He's a dream. He's an absolute dream. He's like our Nigel Godrich, you know, Radiohead's producer.
Oh, yes.
Or George Martin, the Beatles' producer. Well, we've got Krista.
Oh, definitely.
He's fantastic.
Yeah. And it just shines so much, especially on Weather Systems, which I would say is arguably my favorite album from you guys.
Yeah, the last 2. I loved working with Steve Wilson on We're Here Because We're Here. I think he's amazing. So focused, no ego, just very, very, very good. The only difference with Krista is he is able to be with the band from the demo stage right the way through to the last recording before it's mixed, and Stephen was only able to be there for the mix, so we had to record all the record without him. You know, because he's so busy, which is fine, you know, but we do need somebody on the other side of the glass, like helping us to take stock and make decisions. And since I found Krista, I don't really want to work with anybody else. You know, he just fits. We've been very, very lucky, fortuitous, you know, meant to be, whatever you want to call it, but he feels like the guy.
Yeah, I could definitely feel that on Weather Systems, and I can't wait to hear it on the new album as well.
Yeah, it'll probably be even better on that record, you know, because we're really going to set out to make balls out every song to be amazing, you know, and then to make all the details in that song to be as good as they could possibly be. So I really think the whole thing through.
Oh, very cool.
And I'll have string arrangements again, and piano songs, and you know, enormous guitar songs, and more electronica this time. So it'll be those collection of all of those elements.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Chris, do you have any questions?
I do. I just wanted to kind of talk about Weather Systems and how a lot of people like different parts of the album. For example, Josh mentioned how much he likes Untouchable Parts 1 and 2. My favorite is actually in the middle of the album, where we have Lightning Song, Sunlight, and Storm Before the Calm. And I just kind of wanted to ask about like how you hear fans reacting to different parts of the album.
We didn't think about the fact that it could reach people the way it did when we came up with that album title, and the idea of the parallel between internal landscapes of mind and heart, you know, internal weather systems, internal emotional systems, and using that metaphor in songs and in artwork for the album, Weather Systems. If you see what I mean, that was a very catchy, people caught onto that, you know, the title and the artwork and the connection between the emotional systems of a person and their heart and their life and the patterns in nature, and that really connected. You know, it's like people just understood it. And I didn't really think about that when we made it. After the time the record was finished, it was named. Within 2 or 3 months, it was released. I never thought once that was going to happen. And then it came out, and I started reading the reviews. Like, wow, that's actually shit. That's really worked. You know, people have gone, yeah, weather systems, I get it. You know, emotional systems. You know, so that's been great. And all of those songs were originally part of the weather systems concept. The ones you mentioned. Sunlight, The Gathering of the Clouds, obviously, Sunlight, Lightning Song, The Storm Before the Calm, and Internal Landscapes are all part of that concept. The other four were separate from that, but it kept the title because the overall feel is still there. And they're actually quite old. Lightning Song was written in 2005.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Sunlight is 2001.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and Storm Before the Calm was written in 2005-06. And was actually recorded for We're Here Because We're Here. So was Lightning Song. So was The Gathering of the Clouds. They were taken off that album because it was too long. And I had to be tough about that and tell the guys, I know you love this song, but no, it has to wait. And I had to put my foot down. And eventually they agreed when not only me said it, but the management said it too. And I said, okay. You know, that's the internal debates with bands sometimes. You know, I have strong opinions. You know, I obviously think I'm right most of the time. So, I was right about that. So what we did was we took those 3 songs and said, okay, we'll do something with these, but they can't go on with him because we're here. So we waited, and they were improved, actually. Lyrics were improved, and recordings were enhanced. And then it was going to be an EP. It was going to be a Weather Systems EP of those 5 songs. And we listened to the EP. We recorded it all, 5 songs, and we listened to it, and we thought, you know, if you added 4 more songs to this, you've got an album. And we thought, yeah, let's just do 4 more songs, and then we've got a record. And that was it, simple. So we just looked at the tunes that we had that were separate to the Weather System songs, the new tunes that were coming in. The 4 best ones were Untouchable 1 and 2, The Beginning and the End, and The Lost Child. They were the 4 best other tunes that we had. So we just recorded them, and that was it. Just did. The album was almost done in 2 halves, like 2 EPs. It was recorded like that, and then we put it all together at the end, and then we argued about the running order because you know everything's a debate.
Oh, sure.
You know, debates that I usually win. So that's it. It's quite simple, you know. And it, like I said, they were old songs, and it was originally going to be an EP, and it just grew.
Yeah, I can't really picture the album being ordered in any other way because whenever I listen to any part of the album, I feel like I have to go through from top to bottom.
Yeah,
same here.
Yeah.
Just to be able to
Vinny did question one decision, and I have to admit he may have been right. He wanted to put Storm Before the Calm before Sunlight, but I chose to go the other way because I wanted to have a little more guitars in the earlier part of the record, you know, because the Storm Before the Calm is really not a guitar song. So I wanted to have a little more of that feel of a guitar album. I mean, it's worked in as much as nobody's complained, and it's sold well. And I suppose I had one eye on that. I had one eye on how it, you know, on how it would be spaced. You know, because if you do a record like, if you open with like 3 piano ballads, that the feeling is completely different. Even if the rest of the song is completely hard rocking, the rest of the album is completely hard rocking. If you've opened with those 3 piano ballads, that's the perception that everybody gets of the record. And the one time we got it wrong was on A Fine Day to Exit, where an intro was taken off, and Pressure was started the record, and that was a mistake. You know, and I don't mind admitting mistakes like that. And you know, there was too many opinions floating around, and the result was a mishmash of ideas and a lack of focus, in which the intro, which was fantastic, was taken off the record and a piano ballad started the album. Like, and that will never happen again. I will insist that things are done exactly as they should be, and that's what we did on on weather systems, there was this enormous debate about the running order, and I said, thanks guys, I'm just going to do this, you know, and you know, it's 90% right or it's 100% right, either way you look at it, it's very close, you know. So that you know, that's just band dynamics, you know. I kind of listen to everybody's opinion and then make my mind up, you know, and taking everybody, you know, particularly the writers, John and Vinny, you know, I will listen to everything they've got to say, but ultimately, you know, I have to say, well, I understand everything you're saying, but this is the right one. So that's how we work. But it works great because you know, John and Vinny have such a good working relationship in terms of songwriting. They get a lot of a big kick out of that, you know. Vinny gets a huge kick out of working on John's material. You know, Vinny and John, they get a great kick out of working together. The creative heart is us three with the producer. And I'm very comfortable in that environment, partly because we've just known each other so long, but it's mainly because I trust their understanding of songwriting, the understanding of what's cool, what's fantastic, what works and why, in all of those people, you know. And I'm too old to build another songwriting team, you know. I don't want to do that anymore. So, notwithstanding the fact that I needed Daniel to play the drums, I also just really still wanted John to be involved, because he's irreplaceable, you know. That if he was to go, there's nobody else would fill that role. You know, it would just be me, Vinny, and Krista making the records, because I couldn't work with anybody else, and it's not possible for me. So, you know, we've grown up together. We all know who the best bands in the world are. We all know why. We've all got similar influences, more or less. Vinny and John's influences may be a little more electronic than mine, but I also have those influences too. So everybody knows how good Radiohead are. Everybody knows how good the Beatles were, etc., etc., etc. And we just have that common grounding, you know, and trust in each other. But the team wasn't really complete until we found Krista. It was never complete until then. And once we found him, it was like, okay, that's perfect. It's an almost perfect fit. And considering all the shit we've been through over the years, we deserve the one thing to go spectacularly right, and it's him. He's the best thing that's happened to the band musically since me and Vinny got our shit together. You know, he's the best thing to happen to the band. So I couldn't give him a higher compliment than that.
That's so great to hear too.
It's true, man. It's absolutely true. I'm not exaggerating. The guy is phenomenally. It's amazing how well it fits. It's uncanny. Personality-wise, he's very positive. He's a little younger than us, not much younger, but a little younger. But that doesn't come across. He's young. He's very, very good producer. He's very positive. Very good in the studio. Very good at helping us get in the performances, and just has that. There's just a lot of love. He's one of the family, you know. And the best thing that's happened in years is us working with him. And that came through Petter Karlsson, a Norwegian singer-songwriter, who is, without doubt, the best singer-songwriter I've ever known in my life, personally. He's so good it makes me sick. I'm actually jealous. He's the only musician I'm jealous of. He's so good. I feel like I have to be on the top of my game to even get close to this guy. But I still can do it, you know. You'll just have to really... It's such an amazing talent. And he has worked with Krista for a number of years. And they were all Anathema fans going way back to like Judgment days. And I found out too, actually, they all came out to see Anathema in Copenhagen, all drunk in the front row. We found out years later we're all working together, you know. So, you know, it's come full circle. You know, we toured with Petter because of the friendship and because I love his music so much. Then we're touring with Petter. We're thinking about a producer, and Petter said to us, "Go for Krista, have a good feeling about it." And that's when we said, "Okay, we'll do the EP, and we'll get Krista to do the EP, and we'll see how it goes." And that session was so amazing that the EP became an album, and he became our full-time producer. So a very successful period. 2011.
Very cool.
Yeah, he's fantastic. You know, it's just a lot of love, a lot of positive energy, a meaningful relationship with everybody, fantastic tunes, and you know, just getting on with life and fulfilling each other and ourselves, you know, through music and through the work. And I couldn't ask for better people. And even the Portuguese, the rhythm section, who aren't part of the writing team as such, just because I'm too old to like bring in a new writing team, you know, they can write, both of them can write. But, you know, I just want to work with my guys. But they are so amazing in how they play that it lifts everything anyway. They have a huge impact on the music just by playing the songs. See what I mean?
Yeah.
So everybody has that space.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Just talking about Krista.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He's perfect, isn't he?
Great.
He's the best.
So very cool. I mean, it's great to see everything working out. I mean, getting the right production, the right producer, getting the right lineup and everything. And I think it's going to make for a killer show tonight.
Yeah, and a killer album. We're really looking forward to it. We can't wait. And I think I've described it pretty well.
Yeah, very cool.
You know.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to people's reactions to the last two songs.
I'm excited to hear it when it comes out.
A few metalheads complaining, but that's nothing new, is it?
Metalheads complain pretty much about anything. Even if you make the perfect album, they'll find something to complain about.
Not really. It's just that they love their intense guitar music.
Well, that too. Yeah.
You know what I mean? They just love that, and that's a way of life for a lot of people, and I totally respect that. But for us, we need to branch out.
Yeah, to me, the reason I love you guys so much is because of the dynamics that you have. I mean, you know when to be heavy, you know when to get the right ballads in there, you know when to put the right emotional parts in. I mean, you guys do it perfect to me every time, and it's only getting better and better.
Yeah, and hopefully that'll continue. Just going to get a little bit more into programming now, a little bit more into alternative sounds. And to finish up the interview, one thing I can tell you is that I recently went to a concert in London which really opened my eyes. It was Atoms for Peace, which is the brainchild of Tom York and Nigel Godrich from Radiohead.
That's right.
With Flea on bass, and the drummer from Red Hot Chili Peppers and stuff like that. And what I loved about that show was three things. The first thing is that I went into the show unexpecting anything and came out a completely new musician than the guy who went in. It changed me. The second thing is I danced for an hour and a half, you know, without really stopping, and I hadn't done that since, 20 years or so. So that shook away a lot of crap out of my energy field, and I was just it set me free as a musician and an individual that night. It really set me free and put me on a high, and I missed that because I used to do that quite a lot in my 20s. And the other thing that was became clear to me is that Tom York is truly fearless in his musical approach. He will go where he has to go, and he is prepared to lose people. He hasn't really lost people because he goes to beautiful places and it works and they're a great band and he's a great songwriter. I think he's the best songwriter in the world. But he is prepared to lose people and be brave and fearless at every turn. And that is something that I learned from in that show, and it became clear to me that that is something I should take on more. And I'm so glad I went to that show. The other thing that I got from that show was that they have a drummer and a percussionist, and that also gave me the idea then to be able to bring Daniel in as a drummer and still keep John as a songwriter, because John Douglas is the one person in the world who can change this band. It's a different band when he's in it, but I couldn't find a role until I saw Atoms for Peace. So that role became clear to me then, and we're going to give that a good try. So many good things happened at that show. And I came out to the Atoms for Peace show just looking for my brother and just told him, I had a flood of consciousness and ideas about what we can do over the next 3 records. And it all just came pouring out in a moment of inspiration. And he was really happy to hear it. He'd been waiting a long time for me to talk like that. So it was great. So you're going to hear those shifts coming over the next 3 records.
Oh, very cool. I'm very excited to see the way that's going to go.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Oh, cool.
Yes. Thank you, drummer guy.
Oh, thank you very much. It's been a complete honor, and I cannot wait to see you tonight.
Yeah.
And it's going to be one great show. I know it.
Yeah, it's all good.
But I'd be able to sneak in one more question, really quick. This will be my first time seeing Anathema in the full ensemble, but last summer, you did an acoustic gig in London at the Borderline in support of Devin Townsend. And I really loved your performance on that show. How does your mindset differ from acoustic performances to the full ensemble?
Well, it's much quieter and a little more relaxing and peaceful, and I love that. And I love the idea of the audience sitting down and taking it all in, taking the atmosphere and the beauty in, singing along. And our acoustic shows with Vincent and Lee, they still have quite a high energy level. It's not like sitting on a stool and singing acoustic numbers and ballads. It has high energy. We use loops, we use bass pedals. I play the guitar like a percussion instrument. So I love it very much. It's the other side of the coin, and I like it. Also financially, it's good for the band because the travel expenses are so low that those concerts are actually very profitable, more profitable than the band shows are. Like, there's absolutely no profit in touring in America at this point in time. We paid a lot of money to do this. But traveling acoustic is so much easier that it's nice to do that every now and again to bring a little money in. And also, I find it rewarding musically because I love just playing quiet piano and playing quiet acoustic. It's a very nice experience. But you know, when you play with the full band, you've got the electric guitars, you've got the in-ear monitors, you've got noise, you've got drums, and I love it, but it's different. I love them both. It's like night and day. Which one is your favourite, morning or evening?
Oh, sure thing. Just wrap this up here. Once again, it's been a fantastic honor to be able to meet you and do this great interview and be able to see you here tonight. And
the honour is mine.
And I cannot wait to see you and have a fantastic show tonight.
Thank you, mate.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Danny.
All right. And for Chris, this is the drummer guy, Josh Runquist, and you just got done hearing my interview with Dan from Anathema. Thank you.
Thank you.